Well, if you haven't seen it by now, this Hanra Ileana cleave has become a widely used, safe, and versatile sniping comp that Ileana owners have discovered and are seeing tons of success with. I don't know the exact origins of the comp, but a friend told me about it, and then I soon began seeing it in various Siege videos from other creators. The one big flaw I see with this comp is simply that you need to own Ileana, which I don't. So I figured why not search for some more free-to-play friendly or at least alternative versions to this OP cleave, and that is exactly what I plan to show you in this video. I'll say if you have Ileana already, I highly recommend just building this comp, but since it's unlikely you have a dupe Ileana lying around, maybe you'll want to build a dupe Hanra to try out some of these teams. So first things first, I'll show my runes and artifacts that I have on Hanra. I will say this probably isn't the ideal build. I think 100 crit rate is very important because you want to land crits. You don't have a attribute advantage into most defenses you'll bring them into, so get to 100 crit rate for more ideal conditions. Additionally, my damage output is kind of lackluster. I'm on a Fatal Will set. You could probably just move your Fat Lucian runes if you have a Fat Lucian built. Like my Fat Lucian is a Rage Blade set that would likely work just fine. The only reason I'm not doing that is just mana issues. I've been making more videos recently and need to farm more. I just keep moving runes around and don't have any mana. So that's why I pulled runes from storage and have a just kind of decent Hanra. You want to do just typical sniping like a Covenant, Kali, Lucian, attack, crit damage attack, 100 crit rate with as much damage as you can. For artifacts, I did damage dealt on different elements, and then here additional damage by speed is of course nothing special here because I'm slow, and then the crit damage up as less enemy HP. I'd rather that be as like higher HP, so I have it on the initial shot rather than when they're down. So this isn't the best artifact either, but I do like the attack increasing effects, and I do like the skill 3 crit damage. And again, I wanted to pull things from storage rather than other monsters because of lack of mana. All right, so obviously the first thing you want to do is use Kevin Hessenoof, whatever his name is, his skill 3 on Hanra to give the attack buff and invincibility and crit rate buff. And then you kind of pray Vigor doesn't use a skill 2, but if he does, now you're praying that you do land the crit anyways, because you cannot use skill 2 here to attempt the strip. You might think that's the safer option, but we know Miang will be going next and then Kinky and then Hanra, but you don't know for certain that they will attack Hanra and make his health not 100%. You need his health to be 100%. So the safe thing to do is the invincibility extension. So now he has 2-turn invincibility, and then you pray that you actually land the crit. I do not, so we're almost certainly going to lose. Not guaranteed loss, but probably. Let's lose very nice costs, and let's do some damage here on Vigor. Nice strip action. We will, I think, kill the Lulu here, and then Kevin dies. Here we heal the Vigor, and so here's where we lose, because Miang can't win this 1v1. If QB was still alive, if he didn't just get totally dunked on, this is a somewhat winnable 2v1. I kind of wonder about a Despair QB instead of Triple Will, but I kind of like the Triple Will as well, so I'm not sure. But for sure the Kinky is just gonna, eat me alive there. In this replay, similar to the previous one, Vigor's going to use the skill 2, turn 1, and so he's got the anti-crit buff, and so there's no guarantee that I'm going to be landing the crit, and of course I don't land the crit. However, similarly to last match, what will happen is I will be able to one-shot the Lulu, and then despite Hanra getting hit by the Kinky, Miang's skill 3 will bring him back to full health, and so skill 3 will still be available, he'll still have the attack buff, and he can actually manage to one-shot the Vigor. From there, it's will Kinky solo me? I don't know. Cross my fingers, I hope not. You could do a Violent Miang instead of a Fatal that I have here. If you can get similar stats like a speed attack HP or defense attack HP with just as much additional damage with decent speed on your Miang, you will put yourself in a better position. Anyways, if you do get into a 3v1 scenario, you'll win it most of the time. If you get into a 2v1 scenario, that's where it's a little iffy. Anyways, not the safest team. In 10 tests, I went 7-3 with it against this defense. There's probably significantly better or safer defenses you can bring this into. Unfortunately, the current Siege meta is Mollies and Vigors and anything to add RNG because that's what makes a defense good. So that's what I have to hit is anti-crits and glancing passives and that kind of thing. It's tricky, but certainly still doable. This next one is using Akasha, the Light Undying, which was buffed in the patch next to Delphoy. Got the same skill too, so they have Oblivion, which is great into Kinkies, great into Ayunu. Hooray, this defense does not have anti-crit buff. And then also using another recently buffed in the most recent balance patch, Miriam, to have that extended attack increasing effect and defense increasing effect, which doesn't matter here, but we have an additional 35% boost to our attack buff, so we'll be dealing more damage, which is great. The thing with this defense or offense, I should say, is you need to outspeed. So my Akasha is plus 143, which as you can see is too slow. I think Violent is certainly the better option, but if you have to, you should go Swift just to ensure that you go turn 1, because if you don't go turn 1, you're in trouble. Now, in this replay, I'm actually running a Swift Hammer Girl instead of a Violent Hammer Girl. It doesn't really matter because Kiki goes next and hits the Hanra, so now he's not at full health, and this team has no healing to get him back to full health to have his skill be reduced. I also don't have max skill up, so it takes even longer to get that ignore defense skill back. You can still win these, it's just you've put yourself in a worse position. You still get to potentially win just because it's a 3-turn invincibility, which is really solid. The attack and defense increasing effect from the Miriam is fantastic. She also has a somewhat convenient stun every once in a while. And then the Akasha Oblivion is just kind of insane. In this particular case, Ayunu is also a more squishy unit. Hanra's skill 2 still hits pretty hard, and so once you get that Oblivion on the Ayunu, you might be able to one-shot him or do like 50-60% of his health with that skill 2. The defense buff from Miriam will certainly help you survive the Kinky quite a bit better, and then the 3-turn invincibility is just way better than the 1-turn invincibility that QB provides. And you know, Miang extends it a single turn, but it isn't enough a lot of the time, it seems. It's pretty solid. I'm really liking this. If you have these units, Akasha was Hall of Heroes again, so I think a lot of people watching should have her. Maybe haven't built her yet because haven't had a use, but she's really solid with Hanra. So here we're going a little less free-to-play friendly, but I think safer. We're using the Light Miriam. Madeline is her name, to extend the buff. So we don't get the benefit of enhancing the attack buff, but what we do get the benefit of is enhancing the 3-turn or increasing the 3-turn invincibility into 4-turn. Additionally, she has cooldown reduction, so if your Hanra does get hit and doesn't have max HP, well, you still can potentially get the cooldown reduced quickly enough to get the skill usable again. But yeah, 4-turn invincibility is pretty sick, especially into a defense with no strippers like this Vigor Lulu Ayunu comp that is a good defense, but it has no strips. So you can really smack. So I just Oblivioned that Kinky and then one-shot it with Hanra, which is so nice. The Oblivion on Akasha really makes her just super good, and paired with Hanra, even better. So I like this significantly more than the Miang QB team. Like the Miang QB team in 10 tests went 7-3. This didn't lose, so that's better. But I still think the Miang QB team has a place. If not in high G3 Siege, there's probably some defenses in G1 that you'll come across and think, Hanra and this Miang team could be really good, especially if it's like fire heavy, because you might experience some double fire defenses, something like that, and you'd be double water with a dark ignore defense monster, relatively easy to outspeed and see some success. But Akasha Hanra I really like. If you happen to get that Hall of Heroes, congrats. I would build a Hanra, give the team a shot, give some use to these Hammer Girls that don't see a lot of use otherwise, and just play around with it. It's a fun team, pretty useful in 4-star Siege, probably useful in 5-star Siege. In fact, let's see if we can find one. Alright, so this defense is admittedly a little old school at this point, but problem with 5-star Siege currently is there's like mollies all over the place, there's Wusas, there's strippers galore, there's like Nana Savannah teams and that kind of thing, so I don't know how Hanra will do trying to kill 6 people instead of 3 people. Here, we only have the one strip in the form of Odin's skill 1, which isn't reliable. So I think we'll be okay here. Now, Tessarion can Oblivion the Miriam, so that's a thing. But I think I'll have sufficient damage anyways. Wow, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buffs to steal from. He steals the attack buff. That is next level, man. So we're going to just cry. That's what happens when you hit the record button, I swear. I could test something and go like 43-0 with it, and then I hit record, and the defense just like, boom, you lose, get wrecked. Man, it's frustrating. I'm going to... Who do I Oblivion here? Let's Oblivion the Odin. I think I want to kill him just as quickly as possible. Now her skill 1 strips. I think I have her on crit rate on slot 4. It's not 100 crit rate, but she has a decent amount of crit rate. So I got the strip there, which is nice. I wish the Hammer Girls had higher stun chance on skill 1. I think that would be helpful, but it is what it is. And I wish Akasha had a heal. A heal would be really great on her. Okay, let's finish the Odin. Man. Is this a 2v1 I can win? So if I kill the Tessarion, if, it's a big if, but if I do, can I kill the Riley? Because I'll have no healing. I don't even think I can kill the Tessarion, honestly. We have to try, though. 44k. Okay, so we can kill the Tessarion. Now, if she doesn't hit through the shield, I'll still be max HP. Nice. Alright, cool. Well, that worked out pretty well. Yeah, 1 out of 6 chance. And I don't even know what Odin's activation rate is with that skill 1 strip, and you already know he has no accuracy on that thing, so that's just typical. But I really like this team. It's a fun team. Can I strip you? Yeah, but not the right strip. That's fine. What do you strip that time? The defense buff. That's fine. Here we're going to one-shot the Riley. Boom. Then we're going to Oblivion the Odin. Beautiful. And increase the cooldown. And get the stun. Look at that. Can I strip? Yeah, get stripped. We'll just keep working on him. Here we will... Let's go for the Tessa again. I feel like Tessa's the more dangerous one currently. So that was only 27k or something, it looks like. Wasn't much. Did I not have the attack buff? Why did I not deal that much damage? I missed that. So he stole my invincibility. What is this? Ignores damage reduction effects. Let's use that one. Boom. And then make him invincible again. And next turn should be a dead Odin. So this isn't something you'll see in G3, but it'll be something you might see in G2 or lower, I think. The classic trickle-down economics of Summoner's War. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe. If you want to be a channel member and join my Discord, you can click join down below. And that's it for this one. Appreciate y'all watching. Bye.